My name is Jane Mikwa, a wife to one wonderful man, and we have 3 children together. Our firstborn is, she's turning 12 this year. Secondborn is 2 years and 10 months, and the lastborn is 10 months.
Being a mother brings joy in itself, but it's also a period of adjustment as new moms try to handle the changes that come with newborns. But for some women, this postpartum period can lead to a type of depression known as postpartum depression, which is estimated to affect 10% and 20% of new mothers.
One of the things that really nearly pushed me to the edge was watching my children and not able to be their mother at that time.
After waiting for 9 years, it was good news for Jane and her husband to get a second child.
When I got pregnant with our secondborn, I had a complication called placenta previa, which was discovered in our 4th month of pregnancy. So once the doctor discovered that, I was put on bed rest. But we thank God that all went well. We got our baby girl. We were excited. We were like, whew, the worst is over. We thank God for His mercies and faithfulness. So all was went. So I gave birth on a Thursday. All was well during the day. Come Saturday night, that is when things fell apart.
On the 3rd day after her delivery, Jane started to experience some strange fear.
A feeling of intense fear gripped me from nowhere. Then I'm looking at the baby and I'm afraid of the baby, like something bad is about to happen in the hospital. So I sit up, I call my husband.
And by the time I'd arrived, they'd already given us some sedatives to take care of her. So within 5 minutes, she conked out. So I had to stay in the hospital until she woke up. That was about 2 to 3 a.m. That's when another round of drama started. She started telling me, now, give me a book, we write what I want you to do. I'm like, okay, do what? No, just in case I go mad.
I would get lost somewhere. I can't recognize you guys. And then after some time again, I come to. So I was so afraid that what if I go and never come back? I was in hospital for a week, but eventually we had to leave, but we were given medication. The extreme and severe symptoms were for the first 4 months, and we are here at home. Feelings of being in despair. I don't want to eat, and yet I have to be forced to eat so that I get something to breastfeed the baby. So now I had to see the psychiatrist every 3 weeks, and every 2 weeks I was seeing the psychologist. The psychiatrist was to administer medication. The psychologist was to help me cope. So my husband had to, a lot of times I've taken the medication, he has to try very hard to wake me up so that I breastfeed the baby.
I had to shake her and wake her up, and that was a battle. It would take me almost 10 minutes just to wake her up. Meanwhile, the baby is crying and fidgeting all over. I
remember pushing my husband that I don't really need to breastfeed, so we can just start none. So my husband had to call my doctor and asked him, so this is what she's saying, and the psychiatrist and the psychologist both said no. At least we want her to maintain some sort of contact with the baby still, because if she decides that now she doesn't want to breastfeed at all, it's like she'll now go into that darkness of her for kabisa.
Psychologically, her husband was gradually affected.
I think it affected me. Initially, I didn't know that. We went for some bit of counseling, and they suggested that I should also go for counseling. I'm like, I'm the man, there's nothing like that. Been able to pass through much more than this. But over time, I actually realized I need this.
I was on medication for 1.5 years. Slowly, they kept on reducing. Then eventually, I think when close to 2 years, now I was completely off the medication and I was fine.
Postpartum depression can linger for months or even years if left untreated. And having recovered from this condition, Jane hopes that there will be more effort to broaden the awareness of postpartum depression.